What's up YouTube? So today I'm just going to be giving you an update of the tanks. So I hope you enjoy this video. So there's been a lot of changes that has happened since the last time I updated you guys about this tank. I actually lost a couple of angelfish in here, and up to this day I still don't know what kind of disease took hold of it, but it's not something that I see all the time on other fish forums, so I really don't have a clue. If you can notice, this pothos has actually taken over the top of the tank. I have to cut them down all the time because they grow like crazy. I took out some of the rotalas in there because they developed some apids, and as good as they are for the fish, from what I've read, I don't really find them appealing to have like little insects on top of this tank, so I just took them out. If you also notice, there's this chocolate cichlid right here, and there's actually two of them in this tank now, and I'm growing them out so that they can go to the other tank where Mako is, and this is the smaller of the chocolate cichlids. I do like how bulky these guys get when they're adults, so I'm really excited about that. As of the moment though, I still don't know which one is male and which one's female. Some of the filament barbs have been moved to a friend's tank just because they started showing some interest with the crypts, and I didn't like that. So I just have a friend take care of them. This handsome fellow Neptune is actually the main dominant fish in the tank, and he's just bossing around any other angelfish in the tank. Also, we have here Assy, and we have here Notch, and obviously you can see all the geophagus at the bottom of the tank as well. And speaking of the geophagus, the tapajos that I have, I'm really excited that they're starting to show some reds on their heads. I remember the first time I got these guys, they actually have some bad hole in the head disease, and I just took care of them, gave them some water quality that they need to heal, and gave them some food, and now they're just developing into their adult forms with the red heads on top. And obviously in time the red will just intensify. I also added a couple of roseline sharks in here. Those are the ones that are smaller. I love this fish. They look amazing when they're schooling with their bigger roseline sharks, and adding them in the tank adds so much activity, so it's a plus. They're not eating plants as well, so they're like really good barbs if you're looking for a schooling fish that is really good in a planted tank. This is one of the last of the Santa Isabels that I have that are wild caught. The other one actually perished when there's an outbreak here in this tank. And the filament barbs that I have here are actually really gorgeous. They have a stunning green scale on the side with some iridescent sheen, and they have really intense red tails, especially for the males. The males have developed some really good filaments on their dorsal fins as well. I guess the only thing I don't appreciate having the filament barbs here is the fact that they destroy the plants, and they don't even eat it, they just destroy it. Another thing I'm really excited about is growing out this little guy here. This guy's name is Barry, and I'm actually calling him Barry because he's a yellowfin barracuda. This guy's scientific name is Assistorhynchus falcirostis. Once it's a little bit bigger, it's going to be moved into the big tank together with Mako. And this guy doesn't move that much. It's actually just a very chill fish. It's not very skittish at all. I was actually surprised how fast I was able to convert this fish to eat pellets. As you can see, most of the time this fish will just hover in place, but once it spots its food, it will just do a little flick of the tail, and this fish can get really fast. This fish is actually a piscivore, meaning it just eats fish, and you can see how fast it is. It's not surprising for it to be able to catch a lot of fish once it's full grown, but I'm not gonna be feeding him fish. That's because I'm trying to stay away from live feeding and disease. Now we go to the 150 gallon where Mako the odoe is. This fish has actually grown significantly, and the footprint of this tank is actually not enough for him as of the moment. At the time of the shooting of this video, I actually have 2 tinfoil barbs and 1 geophagus altifrons. Unfortunately, the 2 tinfoil barbs are just staying on one side of the tank because Mako has a little bit of aggressive streak on him, and just 2 tinfoil barbs is not enough to spread out the aggression. The other silver dollars that I have is currently being grown out in a grow out tank at the time of the recording of the video. Once the silver dollars grew out significantly, I moved them together with the tinfoil barbs, and that helped the tinfoil barbs explore the tank even more. And with that, a change has to be made. So with that being said, I moved the fish to a bigger tank, and right now they're in a 220 gallon tank. Unfortunately though, the 2 tinfoil barbs didn't make it. I did a water change and I didn't match the temperature of the water that I'm putting in, so they got into shock, and I thought I was actually gonna lose all my fish, but the tragedy happened and it took the 2 tinfoil barbs as a consequence. At that time, I actually have another tinfoil barb waiting to be grown out, and unfortunately the tragedy happened, so now I only have 1 tinfoil barb that I'm growing out. Eventually I'm gonna get 2 more tinfoil barbs so that the tinfoil barbs I'm growing out right now will have some company once it's an adult. As you can see, the silver dollars have actually grown significantly. I have another altifons waiting in the 180 gallon that is growing out, so that this guy will have some company as well, but I found that altifons are actually very slow growing. It's also very evident that they love the space that they have here. I actually got so excited that I bought another top dwelling fish, and that is the one that I had before, but I still love this fish, and this is the Calcius erythrinus. See that fish right there, very skittish fish. So this fish actually needs a big tank with a wide footprint so that when it does that, it will have a way to escape. I'm actually very happy that Mako is very tolerant of the Calcius erythrinus, because it's not chasing him, and they both just look good together swimming. I guess the fact that the Calcius is not very active, it literally just hovers in one spot, is very helpful for Mako to not chase it. It actually prevents Mako from chasing it because it doesn't trigger the hunter instinct. I'm still using the same amount of light. I'm still using the same amount of filtration in this tank. I have two filtration running here. I have an FX6 and I have another Cascade 1500. I also was able to use all the other decorations that I have on the 150 gallon on this tank, and I actually like the fact that it looks like there's a tree, a root that's going down in this tank. I also decided to put the lights up higher so that it would have more ripple effect, and I actually like it. I think the combination of the less intense light and the bigger space makes all the fishes more calm. The silver dollars are more calm, they have more hiding space, they have more swimming space, they can escape Mako whenever Mako is being a psycho, and there's so much more room for them to swim around. So overall, I'm really happy with this new setup. And this is the food that I give to the Barracuda in the grow out tank. I would dip this in garlic essence and then the fish will just go crazy because apparently garlic increases the fish's appetite. And this is the sinking wafers, and this goes for the geophagus and the silver dollars and also the calcius, surprisingly. So this is just a quick update of the fish keeping hobby that I am in, and I hope you guys enjoy this, and please feel free to subscribe and hit that like button. If you have any questions, just feel free to ask. Fish out.